All right, so we're continuing with this discussion of lead mining. So let me just talk through a couple of concepts quickly. Um, when people land on any of the web pages we create, we're creating millions of them that are totally optimized. That's what I was covering already, right? And it works for all the industries times all the locations nationwide that we want to go after, metro areas. And so we can go into any kind of brick and mortar that we want. And we can create enough pages for enough of the topics that are written well enough that Google's going to rank a lot of them, and a lot of them are going to get free traffic organically, and it's going to lead to leads. So in our case, about 30% of the people who land on any of our pages, if they land on the page for a second and then leave, I'll give you an example. Somebody does a search on Google, and that brings them to this page, and then they may or may not click anything. They may or may not continue. They may or may not read. They may or may not watch a video. May or may not click here. It doesn't really matter. The moment they land on this page, within 3 seconds, we have like a 30% chance of knowing exactly who they are. Okay? So 3 out of 10 people who land on the pages who are from America, who are in America, and they're landing usually on local pages, okay? We know who they are. We know a lot about them. And we can immediately offer that to all the companies in that area who handle whatever it is that they landed on. So if they land on a page about plumbing and they're in Chicago, then we can text all the Chicago plumbers immediately and say, this guy, and we know the guy's name, let's say John Delaney. We can say John D from Cicero. You know, he's from Cicero, say. John D from Cicero is looking for sump pump repair. Okay, because he landed on one of our pages about sump pump repair. So we can text immediately, and let's say we texted 100 plumbers to begin with. Okay, we'll text 100 plumbers. Now, how much does texting cost? About 2 cents a text. So we're offering the lead to the plumber, and it costs 2 cents to text 100 plumbers. So if you're going to spend 2 cents times 100, that's 200 cents is just $2. So if we're selling the lead for anything more than $2, we're in profit. Especially if that's just to one plumber. What if we're selling it to 2 plumbers or 3? We can choose, right? So here's the point. Say out of 100 plumbers that we text, let's say 50% of them bounce back. Just their landlines. They don't receive text. First of all, that's pretty weird. Most companies these days have gotten extremely used to taking texts, although some industries are less apt for that. For instance, dentists. The people at the desk are busy answering calls and talking to people, and usually nothing to do with text there. Okay. But plumbers, yeah, usually texting, because very often the guy who's a plumber is in his truck anyway on his cell phone. That's a verified business phone because he's using it for his business, and he's promoting it and waiting for the calls so he can get on. And very often that texting will happen anyway, even if dispatch is sending him notes, right? So texting is very common in most industries. So if we pick an industry where that's common, that's most industries. We're going to text out to 100 plumbers, say, and let's say 50% bounce back is failed. Okay, fine. Then we got 50 others, right? Let's say 10 of those guys reply with stop because who knows, they're getting enough traffic. They have their own projects, and so they don't have time for a thing. They're not interested, whatever. Okay, fine. That leaves 40. So every time we text out a lead, it'll cost us 80 cents to send the lead out. Now, remember, we're not sending the lead to one plumber that we landed a contract with and said, hey, we'll send you leads, you pay for them. That's a problem, isn't it? Because what if that plumber can only handle 5 jobs a day? You know, he's got like 5 people or something, say 10 jobs a day, but we're sending him 20 leads a day. He doesn't even want half of those leads. He's paying for them for no reason, right? He's not paying 2 cents a lead. He's not even paying 40 cents a lead, right? He's paying like $15 a lead or something, whatever it is that we're selling leads for. Okay. So we don't want to land a contract with a plumber. What do we want to do? We want to have our 40 plumbers in the city always within reach. Anytime someone lands on one of our pages, 30% chance we know who they are. So all we need is, like, I don't know, 10 guys to land on the page, and we're sending 3 leads automatically. By the way, it's automatic. We built the system. It already exists. It's automatic. That means no humans are doing anything with it. The leads are landing on the pages. They're being decrypted. And as fast as we know who they are, we immediately text them automatically to all those companies in that area, the 100. And for all the bounce backs, they get removed from the list. We don't text them anymore because we'd be wasting our money. And for all the guys who reply stop, we quit texting them too because they're not going to be interested. So we automatically do it. We're down to our 40 that are in the game. They're willing to receive leads just in case they're interested. Okay? Because they're a company, they want that kind of information to hit their cell phone. Okay? Most companies do. They want lead options to hit their cell phone. So we got our John D from Cicero needs sump pump repair. Of those 40 plumbers, some are going to say, well, I'm too far away from Cicero to be interested today. I've got my guys doing other things over here. I may have taken it in a pinch, but not today. No problem. Other plumbers are saying, well, I'm really close to Cicero and I've got time. So do I do sump pump repair? And if the answer is yes, then I might be in the running for the lead, right? Okay. So we texted 40. Someone is going to want the lead out of the 40. Don't you think? I mean, why wouldn't they want the lead? Why leave it sitting there? If a guy nearby wants something that you offer and you need the job or you want the job, either you're desperate for the job or you're just not booked full and you're interested in the job, then you might want to click that link. Now, what happens when you click the link? The link brings you to a simple page that has a simple explanation, very short, a paragraph, that explains what the program is and what you can expect from the link. Okay? So it just clarifies quickly what's going on. It's got a link to the full breakdown in case you want to click that and read the whole thing. Okay? The longer form of what it is. Okay? Many guys will probably do that the first time around. They'll think, what is this? And they'll just kind of like read through it. But the lead you can claim. So you read the details, John D, Cicero, sump pump repair, and you can claim the lead. You can click the button. Now, here's what we realized. It's a race for whoever's interested that day, that hour, right? That half an hour to an hour period. So if out of our 40 companies, let's say an average of 8 are interested at any point in time, when we send a lead to 40 guys, 8 are possibly interested. Well, the one who clicks the link first, right, and decides to claim that lead, so it'll be 2 clicks. One to say, yes, I want to claim it, and the second to basically say, yes, I'm sure. I realize it'll deduct a credit from my balance. Okay? We thought if they had to pay for the lead in real time, then that would suck. When 8 guys would be trying to pay for the lead in real time just to beat the other guy. They're trying to enter their credit card number and stuff, and that sucks. So we thought, there's a better way to do this. We'll offer everybody leads for free in the beginning, like 5 leads for free. That way they can get a chance to see what these are like. They can claim 5. They can see 50 go by. They don't pay for any of the texts. There's no cost for being in the program, okay? We're going to text all of them that didn't say stop, okay? Until such time as we ever decide to do a cleanup of our system, like who did not claim a lead in the past month. We can remove those guys from our system and we can add new plumbers in. By the way, how many plumbers are in the Chicago area? 3,300 in the greater Chicago area. There is no way to run out of plumbers. There are always going to be enough plumbers, many of whom are starving, because the more there are, some are taking up the slack while some are slacking, right? Are losing out while others are taking up the slack. So there are always going to be hungry plumbers for jobs, right? They want the jobs, okay? And by the way, that's like 3,300 in the greater area. If you come right down to Chicago, I think we did a search once and found 800 companies in the city of Chicago. 800. They can't all be rich. They can't all be getting all the leads they want every day. Okay? So, back to this though. We can text the details when a guy claims a lead. So the guy gets 5 free, so he's just realizing he's going through his 5 free credits, and then when he goes to claim a 6th lead, it's going to say, oh, sorry, you got to add to the balance and pay off the first 5 plus how many more do you want? The guy can type in a number, then he can hit pay now, and he can go ahead and make a payment. That gives him all those credits, okay? That way he's got credits at the ready. Okay, everybody needs to have credits at the ready. If you have no credits, you cannot claim a lead. You'll see the text come through, you'll see the button, and it'll remind you don't have any balance. You need to add to your balance. So add here, make a payment, boom, now you got credits. So a guy can buy 1 credit, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 100, whatever he wants, okay? And then he's got those credits, okay? So it is in the purchasing of the credits that we make our money, right? Because now they're going to use their credits to claim those leads. So our cost is in deciphering the lead. That's a one-time cost of 84 cents is the way we put that. And then there's the cost of texting the guys. So we just figure if we have 40 guys in an area, probably that's enough. So it's like 80 cents for the texting. So altogether it costs us like $1.64 to text out once to 40 companies that are in play in any given metro area, in any given industry. We can set the price of every lead depending on the industry. Plumber, $15 for the lead. You know, $15 a lead maybe. If we feel like that's too high, we can always lower it. If we feel like it's too low, we can always raise it. And we can always drop some plumbers and add other ones as we go. Especially based on just like performance history, right? But the guys are prepaying for the lead, so there's not a question they're going to pay. They got to pay to have credits. They can use the credits whenever. The credits are good until they use them. Or up to a year, something like that. I mean, we can have an easy rule for that, up to 3 months or 6 months or a year, whatever. That way they just have plenty of room, but we're also covered in the back end because there always has to be a deadline. Now, with that in mind, there's more. Okay? What about this? Let's say you text out a lead and a bunch of people just thought somebody else grabbed it. Nobody grabbed it. Okay? No one got the lead. Guess what? 5 minutes later, we resend the lead with a different message that basically says, last chance on this lead. You know, no one claimed this lead. Last chance, 50% discount. So whatever we would normally sell the lead for, we give a last chance, 5 minutes later, 50% discount. Now who's going to grab the lead? It's a reminder that, hey, no one took this lead yet. That way, if everyone thought, oh, I missed the message 30 seconds ago, I didn't see it, I just picked up my phone, then somebody else got the lead. Well, they're all thinking that. So it's good to give them one last reminder. We don't want to pester them. We don't want to go through tons of reminders. First, it's expensive because we have to pay for the texting every single time. See, now we're paying another 80 cents to send for the discount of 50% off, right? But we don't want to badger anybody, so we'll just do the one at the normal price and then the 50% off. I had somebody ask, well, doesn't that just train everyone to wait for the 50% off? And the answer is that can't work. You got 40 guys, everyone's starving for more jobs, either on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday of every week, sometimes the weekends, sometimes late at night. They're starving for every job. So they can't afford to wait and hope nobody else claims the lead. And then somehow also be the first one to grab it at the 50% discount. So that'll never happen. Okay. Most leads will be bought the first time around. Very infrequently will leads be bought the second time around. But by offering it the second time around, we're maximizing our income on these things, right? Now, this goes for every metro area. We have groups. So we, using Reference USA, gather all the companies for all the major metro areas by county. That way we can offer to the widest group possible because pretty much anyone in the county will react to that guy. I come from South Bend, Indiana. So if there was a plumbing issue in South Bend, a plumber from South Bend's willing to answer it. Mishawaka is willing to answer it. Elkhart, Goshen is willing to answer it. Niles is a stretch, but if the job is big and I ask them to, they may charge some mileage, but they'll come. So really, it's wise for me to offer it to all the guys in that county and just see who wants it. And the bigger the job, the easier that becomes, like a roofer, right? Roofers make higher overall profit on the sale, okay, than a plumber. for the obvious reason that a roof is more expensive. There's more profit built in naturally. So the roofer's willing to travel even further. Okay. So yeah, this idea of matching not just by city, but by county allows us to broaden the reach enough that we cannot fail. Too big to fail. We're lead mining, too big to fail. We're using objective content, too big to fail. Totally different templates. Minimized everything, optimized everything, second-gen images, backlinks, refreshed contents, remote control, everything. Too big to fail. And when people so much as touch our web page and leave it a second later, that's all it took. The moment they land on our web page, that's going to initiate the script that grabs our IP. We look them up. That's it. So seconds later, we know who they are. And we can offer that lead out immediately. And it will go out immediately to all the guys in that area. Okay? Saying, hey, so-and-so was looking for this. And it won't tell them who the guy is. It'll tell them a teaser amount of information. So it's really hard for them to look that guy up. But very easy for them to just go ahead and pay for that lead and get all the information immediately. By the way, that is sent to them immediately after their order. Within 2 seconds, they get the text that gives them all the information, complete with a phone number. They can click and they can talk to the guy or leave a voicemail. And an email address, they could just email the guy. Okay? So they know that information. What else do they know about the guy? I'm going to surprise you by showing you in a minute. Now, there's another thing I want to clarify, because what gets even bigger than that? I'll show you later what gets bigger than that. I'm going to need another video for that. Okay, let me show you the system right now. Okay, it happens to be here. It's not meant for the public. It's just where we keep all this running right now. So here's the idea. We've been using just tester data and then dumping out our loads, okay? So for instance, we got our John Doe, selling houses, the industry. He's interested in selling his house. We got his email. He landed on this domain on this page. We actually have that information there. Exactly where he landed, okay? Here's his county, city, and state, and so on, right? That's the idea. Now, if I hit this plus symbol, okay, I see the information about it. Let me go ahead and view it. I want to show you how much information we can give immediately in the text. Because again, if you're talking to, it doesn't matter who, a plumber, a homeopath, Bowen therapist, roofer, name anyone else, chiropractor, right? What do you want to know about a prospective lead? Well, his address, 100 Main Street. Again, it's dummy data, right? But we get real data just like this. 100 Main Street, apartment 2, okay? Then other stuff. Whatever his county number is, who cares? City is San Francisco, state is California. We know that. Here's his email address. His name is John. So now we know it's a him. Last name is Doe. This happened at this time, so we know it's fresh, totally fresh. Here's the guy's zip code. Okay? He looked at the first page he landed on of our site here. The last page we captured him on was here. Okay, the last time he was on a page. Okay, so whether he looked at one page or multiple pages, we know that now. All right, so that gives us an implied seconds on the site. Like how many seconds was the guy on the site? Seconds meaning also hours. 3,600 seconds, right, is an hour. Okay, age range. We know basically how old the guy is, whether he's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or 80. We know his education level, whether he's high school, some college, or college degree. That really helps, doesn't it? Because if you know you're going to talk to a guy who has a high school education, you're going to talk to him differently than a guy who has some college or a guy who has a college degree, depending on what thing we're selling here in the first place, right? Gender. It's important to know whether the guy is male or female. Sometimes the name doesn't make that very, very clear, and it's just good to know so you're not surprised when you call. You hear the female voice, you ask if somebody's there, and the female voice is speaking, and you're like, oh, you know, so you want to make sure that you know. So we capture that. Homeowner status. Does a person own their home or rent it? Important, right? Household income range. How's that? How much do they take in every year in their household? Is that just the one guy living there as a bachelor or the one lady living there single? Or is it a couple? What do they take in together? How long have they been staying at that place? Did they just move in? Are they fresh to the neighborhood? Or have they been there many, many years? Kind of helps, right? If the person wants to sell their home or buy their home, but their length of residence was 1 year or 20 years, it just helps you understand who you're going to talk to. That really just, all that information are nuggets for helping you lock in a sale, right? Marital status. Are they married or not? Net worth range. Okay, well, your household income is whatever it is by the year. Your net worth is how much you totally worth. Sometimes these numbers are wildly, wildly different, especially with COVID. Phone number. What's the guy's phone number? You want to give him a call right now? That'll be on your phone. You'll receive it and you can click the button and call right then and there. You can click the phone number and call. Are there children in the house? You know, if the guy's 70 and married, chances are this is no, right? The children long since moved out, right? Whoop, sorry, dog jumped. And the pages that they visited, and that information tells me what they were looking at. So if you put it all together, what do you get? A crystal clear understanding of who this person is in a snapshot. Just a few seconds of glancing through the lead data, and you know when you hit the phone number to call the guy, or if you're going to email the guy a brochure or something, you know what you need to send that person because you understand them quite well. That is the value of this level of detail that people are buying when they buy the lead. Now, real quick, let's compare that to something. Say our same roofer, okay, in the same city is paying for Google Ads to stay on top. What's that like? Well, that's kind of painful, isn't it? He's paying for Google Ads. He's paying however much per ad click. Okay? Maybe it's $10 a click. Maybe it's $25 a click. The locksmiths often pay $25 a click. Okay? So this guy might be paying $40, $50 a click. Now, the problem is everyone who clicks to his website does not give him a call. Okay? It's usually a lot less than that. It might be 1 in 10. Okay? The guy may be paying $500 to hear from one of those guys. What about the other 9? They left. They came, they looked, they went off. Maybe they were window shopping. Maybe they got distracted. Maybe they're not really sure if they're ready yet, but they looked at the information once to kind of, educate themselves real quick. So if you're going to pay $500 because it took you $500 for 10 clicks and only one calls you, you had better make that sale. You'd better hope you're going to make that sale, right? That's really, really a big deal now, isn't it? Or else you've got to raise the prices of your roofing job to help accommodate for the extra you have to pay in those clicks, right? That's painful. And when the guy calls, you don't really know who you're talking to, right? So you're starting with whatever they tell you. Well, what if instead of $500, what if we're able to send you these leads? $50. Every time you claim a lead, we give you this much information on every one of them. By the time you spent $500, you got 10 unique people where you know up to all of this information, person by person by person. Don't you think that that's a far better use of the money? Yes, here's another one. They'll never pay for the same lead twice. Same lead, they'll never pay for it twice. So what's that also mean? That means that when somebody goes to Google AdWords and clicks on your ad and comes on a Monday but doesn't make up their mind to call you, and then they come back on Wednesday and they happen to click your ad again, you paid another $50 and they're looking at your webpage and thinking maybe next week, and off they go, which by the way is normal, then the guy had to pay $100 for the 2 leads, right? Never in our system, okay? So he'll only pay once for every single lead. So that exists. All right, let me just walk you through this so it's pretty clear, right? So again, like all leads, it's just dummy information right now. All claims, we're just pretending that these guys are claiming, so we know how much the leads are, who did the claiming, which company, what's their phone number, because we're gonna, they're the one who's paying, right? How much are they paying per lead? We just have this set at $2 right now for all the testing we were doing. What group are they in? What industry? Painters or some other group? And we can look at the lead that they bought and see the detail we sent them. Okay? That's cool, isn't it? I got to see if that even works. Yeah, it does. It tells which lead they bought. Okay, that's the whole point there. So what now? Reports for transactions and group claims, right? Again, we dumped a lot of this records, except for a couple of samples here and there, because we've gone through this over and over and over again, getting it to where we want. And we're just preparing it for open release, right? Now, managing groups. Take a look at how cool this is. We figured out all the locations. That is every city. That's 46,810 nationwide that we have in our system. See how the cities work? The name of the city, the county it's in, and the state it's in. Why? Because when a lead lands and they are from a certain city and a certain state, we need to match that to the county so that we can look up the group that has the companies in that county, right? That way we can text those companies in this county if we get somebody from here, right? Or any other city that happens to belong to the same county, right? Like, okay, not that one, but however many cities are in the county. Okay. Now, that's locations. We also have the industries, which can be industries or exact clients. Like if we're going to hook up a particular client through the system and just send all the leads directly to them, okay? And we can even bypass the payment system altogether because we have whatever the contract is that the guy's working with us, or whatever the deal is that the guy's working with us is built into the project. At least a certain number of leads or whatever it is. Okay, so that's industries and locations. And we form all the groups. So we upload all the groups. We create all the groups for whatever the locations are. That's the counties and the industries. And whatever the cost per lead is supposed to be for that industry in that location. Selling a house in this county, probably the cost per lead is very different than some other county, even if it's still about selling the house. Okay. So, normal means it's a bidding process for all the guys in that area. But if we have an exact direct client, we can switch this. And it's a direct send. It just sends the leads to the one guy in the group. Or the set of guys. If it's like a set of 3 salespeople, it texts those 3 every time and doesn't ask for pay. Okay, because it was built into the deal for however long. So anyway, just letting you know, we made that possible. Also, payments for restocking leads, payments for leads in an area can go to somebody hosting the area. So we can pay you directly through your PayPal and your Stripe because you happen to have this project right here. In other words, you're not in the group. You're the guy who created this project. And so all the leads that go into that group, whoever does the claiming inside the group, you can get paid directly for all of that into your PayPal, your Stripe. So we can add the payment method for the information to send your group payments to you directly for however many groups you have. Okay. So again, you can always call me. We can talk through these projects and talk through how this should work. All right, contacts. That's where we're going to upload individual lists of companies with their phone numbers into whichever the groups are, right? And we can decide if somebody's somehow not paying or not being sensible or not even being responsive, we can block a guy, okay? And by blocking them, they don't receive any more texts from us until we choose to unblock them, right? Now, we can see how many leads each guy claimed, okay? So we can see that. We can also see what their credit balance is, like how many credits they have on hand. So we can tell who our big donors are, the guys who are playing hard. You know, they have more employees probably. They're picking up more of the leads. We can choose to contact those guys directly and see if they want to get like a pre-configured number of leads first because they're aiming for it. So we can work with preferential companies, guys who are benefiting us. We want to benefit them back. So we can edit who the customer is, what their phone number is, and what group they're in. Okay, we can edit that. We can also edit their balance. So if we need to give them more credits or they got somehow who knows what, whether it's the same lead twice or some leads that really had nothing to do with it, or they came and they looked and they left but it was an accident, they clicked through. We can give them extra credits. We can add more here. So we can give them more automatic credits. So we can replenish them to make up for any loss. Okay. So we've got all that happening over here. Payment gateways, just where, where we're adding things like PayPal, Visa, and whatever else we choose to go with. We track all the transactions so we can figure out everything that's happened inside the system. And so all of the settings and pages, just stuff like pages, the terms and conditions, how it works, the program, right? And whatever it is that we want to put on that page, right? So we can have the link go to the page and have the page explain to them exactly what this program is, how it works, and so on. Now, so far, what do you understand? Lead mining. We build all these pages so they naturally rise in rank, so people naturally come through the pages, and as they are organically doing a search that leads them to click on one of our pages, whenever we capture their information, about 30% of the time, we offer that immediately to everybody. And whoever wants to grab the lead each time around, this guy now, that guy the next lead, that guy the next lead, that guy the next lead, this guy the next 3 in a row, doesn't matter to us. Okay? We don't care. We have all these guys out there so that a lead will always be taken. And if a lead doesn't get taken in 5 minutes, then we resubmit it with a 50% discount as the last chance on this lead. Okay? That's not the end of it. That's actually kind of halfway through how that's too big to fail, because there's more. I'll break that out in the next video, though. I got to give you time to sort of absorb everything that we've been going through so far. But yeah, we're doing it. We're producing the pages that capture the leads. Anybody that lands on any of these leads or a link in the sitemap, the moment they land on any of those pages, any one of them, then we capture who they are 30% of the time. The moment that happens, it goes in our system, gets texted right out to all the guys in that area. So in the meantime, we're just doing all of our SEO checks and improving upon them. We're creating new contents. We're running them through our quality checker. Make sure to get these in the green. Throw in images to really drive into the green. Mass produce these pages. So it's not just a matter of saying we're competitive on the front page by building, better than everyone else that was there. Getting in the green means better than the top guys, basically. Anywhere from with the top guys to better than the top guys. But then once we do that, it's not just for the one page. We do it nationwide on tons of websites at the same time that are all totally different, so that the whole bar is raised. This whole thing, we reset where it goes, basically through our own actions. We can move so big, so strongly that no one can catch us. And the moment somebody does, we just make the bigger, better project and then rerun it to add to all those sites, refresh through all those sites or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, we just reset the bar again. And this is true industry by industry, location by location. Really fascinating. Okay, so far I've explained how this entire system is going, and it's done. It works. It's actually working. We're onboarding it very, very shortly. We got to go back through, make sure we like what we said on the pages, and that's clear, and that we covered everything we want to cover. And we're going to upload all those groups and with all those contacts and kick this thing on. And so sometime this coming week, or this week, it's Monday now, we're probably going to have this thing live and running and just adding more projects behind it. Crazy. All right. So the next video, I'm going to cover the next piece of this entire system that is also already finished and running properly. But just, I got to give you time to absorb this, and then I'll add that layer. Again, what we're doing is trying to be too big to fail, and I think we're there. Probably you're seeing that by now because it's built the right way and it's modeled after what the locksmith dispatchers do. So we're doing it with other industries, and we're doing it with projects that are far stronger than their projects, and with the remote control ability to auto update all our projects as fast as we want anytime, so they'll never get old. Okay.